Well, hello there. This is a message to any Indiana University Finite Math student. It's going to be about a 20-minute message, and you can read this 4-page PDF that it's based on, or you can just listen to the message. The question I have for you is, do you want to succeed in the Finite Math course to your fullest potential with a minimal amount of effort that's going to be required from you to do this? And if your answer to that question is yes, then this will be a very well invested 20 minutes for you because the message is for you. First, I want to talk to you about the reality of how to succeed in the finite math courses at IU. Number one, you need to realize that there's really no easy way to succeed. But it is true that some ways are much easier than others. And number two, you've got to learn to solve the various finite math problems quickly and accurately to do well on the exams and to do your homework efficiently. Those are the two things you need to be able to realize. Those are realities. Now, a really big question for you is, how do you do this? Well, the first thing is you need to learn the underlying concepts in finite math. And hopefully your teacher in your course is going to explain them to you in such a way that you fully understand them. But if that doesn't happen, then your first challenge is going to be to find somebody to help you or something to help you fully understand the concepts. Now, the second thing is you've got to learn to apply the appropriate techniques required to solve the various finite math problems, because that's really what you're going to be doing. You're going to be solving problems. That's what the exams are going to be about and the homework. Of course, you have to understand the underlying concepts, but then you've got to learn how to apply them to solve the problems. Now, once again, hopefully, your teacher is going to explain these techniques to you so well, and you're going to understand them and you can apply them. But if that doesn't turn out to be the case, then your most important challenge is going to be to find some kind of help so that you can efficiently learn to solve these problems. Some students can learn it on their own, but a lot of students have to have a lot more help than they're getting from their classroom. And it's not always a teacher's fault, because it's very hard to do this sometimes. Now, your biggest challenge is probably going to be to find the very best help that you can afford outside the classroom to master the concepts and the problem-solving methods. And how well you do these things is going to determine your ultimate success and how much time and money that you're going to have to spend to achieve the success that you aspire to. Now, the course, the finite math course, is graded on a curve. So essentially, you're going to be competing with your fellow students. Of course, you want to keep that in mind. Now, if you can find a fellow student that can help you because that student understands things maybe a little better than you do, that's great. Or maybe you can help another student, and that might help you understand things better too, because we often find that if you can learn to explain a concept or a problem to another student, that can force you to understand it better yourself. Now, there's a variety of free resources that are available to you, and you can learn all about them, and there's lots of them, and you're going to have to evaluate their effectiveness in helping you. But one of the things you want to do for sure, don't fail to factor in the amount of your time that you have to devote when you're utilizing some resource. Time is money. Your time is very valuable. Now, one of the resources I want to tell you about today is called Finite Math Help. You go to finitemathhelp.com and you can see what it can do for you. First of all, there's some free resources there. In particular, there's two things. There's a list of problems that you should learn to solve efficiently if you're going to score well on the test and the homework. In fact, these are just the odd-numbered problems that are review problems for each chapter. And they're also the midterm and the final exam problems in the book. So we just put them in some PDFs to make them really easy for you to print out and available so you could look at them and think about them. How are you going to learn to solve them? It turns out that for the entire course, there's more than 300 problems. And that is just a small fraction of all the problems that are in the book. I mean, I don't imagine anyone's ever done all the problems in a book. But if you can master these problems that we've shown you, these odd-numbered reviewed problems and the exam problems, if you can do that, then you should be able to solve any problem you're going to be asked on the exam. So now the question you got to ask yourself is, what is the most efficient way that you can learn to master these problems. In fact, this is probably the most important question you need to answer if you value your time highly. This is really quite a challenging thing. Well, also at this website, there's our two sets of ebooks that actually are the summaries of the key concepts. So we use this for convenience in some of the videos that we're going to tell you about, but we give them to you for free so that you can actually have the concepts in front of you without having to look through the book for them all the time. It's very important that you have them in your mind. What are the concepts? Now, that doesn't mean you understand them, but at least you've got them written down to where you can see them. Now, the facts of the matter are, Finite Math Help has created an extensive set of videos, which, first of all, explain the concepts, and second of all, they show you the problem-solving techniques that you've got to master. Now, this Finite Math course, as you probably know, is divided into two parts, with 4 chapters in each part. Part number 1 is called Probability Models, chapters 1 through 4, and part 2 is called Linear Models, and that includes Markov chains, by the way, so it's chapters 5 through 8. Now, we have videos that explain every concept in every one of these chapters. These videos were created by Dr. Craig Hayne, and that's me on this particular video, to help some of the students that have come to me for help. Now, it turns out that it's very often easier for a student to learn a concept from one of my videos than compared to a live tutorial session with me. And the reason is the student has control over the pace of the video. You can pause it, you can rewind it, you can rewatch it, and you can watch it when you're in a mood to do so, when you're receptive to it. If we schedule a tutorial session, that's fine and dandy, but then it's a certain time you show up, you got to be in the right mood, and we have to go fairly fast through it. I mean, you don't have an unlimited amount of time. I could cover some of the material in a tutorial, but it's much easier for you to watch it on the videos. Now, I want to tell you, these are not fancy videos. That wasn't the point of this at all. In fact, it's what I call kitchen table math. In other words, suppose you were at a tutoring session with me and I was showing you how to do a problem or explain a concept at my kitchen table. Well, that's what I do on my video. And of course, the advantage you have now is you control it. You can pause me, you can rewind me, you can rewatch me, and you can do it as often as you need to and whenever you want to. And you need to take a break, no problem. You're in total control. That's what makes a video so much more valuable. That's how Sal Khan discovered with Khan Academy. He found that his nieces and nephews could really learn from his videos better than they could from him live tutoring. Now, the facts are, though, watching videos isn't enough. You've got to actually learn by doing things. You just watching a video or a lecture is not adequate. In fact, it's particularly not if you're taking notes in a lecture. If you watch my videos, you won't be taking notes. The videos, you'll have the notes provided for you. Now, these videos that I've done for you are going to explain in detail how to solve one or more of the problems that is in a set of problems you'll have to master. The problems in the book are divided really into groups of problems. If you learn there might be 20 problems that are all pretty much the same. And once you learn how to solve one really well, then you can solve any of them easily in that group. And there's lots of different groups, of course, depending on the concepts. Now, here's what you're going to learn, and if you don't know this, you need to learn this. The first time you learn how to solve a specific problem, it might take you 20 minutes to understand it, or longer even. That's normal. Now you go back and you do the same problem or a similar problem, and it might only take you 15 minutes, and you understand it better this time. And then the next time is 10 minutes, and then it's 5. And after you solve several of the same kind of problem, you're going to get it down to where you can do it in just a few minutes. And that's what you need for the exam. Until you practice, till you can do it quickly and efficiently, you're not going to do very well on the exam. Remember, you're competing with your fellow students. Learning is what we call exponential in nature, and that means you go down a learning curve. And the more you practice, the quicker and the easier it gets. I like to consider math like a sport. If you're learning to do something in a sport, first you got to learn the right technique to do that thing. Then you got to practice it until you master it. And learning the technique is one thing, but practicing is another. And you practice and practice until you get it right. That's why you got to work at this. There's nothing magic about it, but you want to do it efficiently. You want to learn quickly and efficiently and practice efficiently. And that, I believe, my videos are actually the most efficient way for many students to learn. I've told you already, they're self-paced. You can pause them. You can rewatch them. You can take breaks. You can come back. Watch them when you're in a good mood, when you're ready to do it, when you're open to it. You get frustrated with one, go away, do something else, and then come back. And by the way, sometimes then when you come back, it seems easier and easier. Now, of course, the question is, how much do these videos cost? They're not free. Well, that's an excellent question. But before I answer that question, which I'm going to in a minute or two, here's what you've got to do. You need to answer some questions. And one of the questions that I think you should answer is, how much time are these videos going to save you? How much more efficiently are you going to be able to learn finite math from these videos than whatever else it is you're doing? How much frustration is going to help you avoid, if any? In fact, how are they going to help you improve your grade for the same amount of effort you might apply to some other resource? What's going to be the value to you if you do a better performance or get a better grade? Now, these are some of the questions you need to answer, and unfortunately, only you can answer them. I can't answer them for you. I don't know how much time they're going to save you compared to other resources. I don't know what a grade is worth to you. These are questions you have to answer. And of course, the answers to these questions are going to depend on you and your math aptitude, your ability to learn math. Some people learn it quicker than others. That's live. It also is your ability to study reliably and how hard you're going to work. I say math is like a sport. You have to learn it, you have to practice it, and different people learn at different levels, and only you can answer the question. Now, your time and the results should be worth more than anything you pay for whatever resources you select to help. In fact, if you choose some free resources, but it takes you lots and lots of time, well, that's not free then. Your time is valuable. If you take a resource, though, that costs money, but it saves you a lot of time, that could be a bargain, and only you can determine that. And I don't know how you can determine that other than to try it and do it. So here's what we've done. We put together, first of all, what I call a mini course. Now, we're going to take the videos that are for chapters 1 and 2, which is the first half of your probability models. And there's about 70 videos, more than 70 videos involved. It's the concepts and the problems. And also, there's some free PDFs that go along with them, so you don't have to take notes. And this whole mini course of all 70 of these videos and the PDFs and everything is only $5. Now, once you buy it, you're going to have an exclusive login. You go and you use it as for yourself only. You agree to that. You're not going to share these with anyone else. It's just strictly for you. You're buying an exclusive admission to these to watch for yourself. You can watch them anytime and anywhere. They come off of Amazon Web Services, and you can watch them on any kind of a computer and so on. Now, I do not want anybody to buy these student videos if they're not getting great benefits from them. If it's not the best value, if you can find any other resource that is better for you, then you should do that. I want you to do that. But the facts of the matter are, the truth is, I know from experience that these videos are going to be more valuable to you than any other resources you can find. So if you do decide, well, these really are great. I love these videos. They help me a lot. They're better than alternative resources. They save me time, the blah, 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 and you really like it, then you're going to want to buy all the videos that you're going to need. Now, you might be just taking M116, which is probability models. Well, you can buy all those videos for the first 4 chapters, $97 for all of them. And but you might also be taking M117, which is the second half of M118. That's linear models of Markov chains. That's chapters 5 through 8. Well, you can buy that set of videos for $97. Well, what if you're taking M118, the whole course? Well, then you buy the whole set of videos, everything, for $147. And that turns out, by the way, to be less than 50 cents a video. There's over 300 of them. And I think that's going to be the greatest deal you can find. Now, that doesn't mean you don't work with other students or you don't take advantage of whatever free resources are convenient and really work for you, but I think these videos will be a great supplement. We call it math help. It's not necessarily everything you're going to need, but it should be a huge resource. And for $137, you amortize that over the whole semester. And how many hours does it have to save to be worth your time? Well, if it's not worth multiples of what you're paying for it, then something's not right. Now, here's the point. What if these videos simply aren't enough and you do need more help? And there are people in that situation. You might be one of them. Now, maybe you need to get a better grade than you think you can get otherwise, or you need to save time. You just need more help. Well, then you can get a live coach from Finite Math. Now, you have to qualify, but if you do qualify for a live coach, you can hire one for $1,000 for a semester. So for a few students, this is going to be the right thing to do. Sound like a lot of money, but the facts are, if you value your time, if you value the grade you're going to get, all that, it could end up being the best bargain that you're going to get. Because what the coach is going to do is make sure that you study the right things at the right pace and answer any little questions that come up. Fulfill your potential. This is not a tutor now. The coach will be able to tutor you if need be, but you're going to really learn from the videos. But which videos to watch next, and what should you do next, and how should you do it? Probably what you're going to do is have some face-to-face on-site meetings at a convenient location near campus with the coach. But then after that, you're going to probably do it online because it's much more convenient for you to do it online. Because a lot of these coaching sessions only last a few minutes. Some might last longer, but the facts are most coaching sessions don't last very long. And but you might need several of them a week to keep you on site. So we'll probably be doing that online. Thanks to modern technology, that's easy to do, as you very well know. Now, I said you got to qualify. This is only going to apply to a relatively small number of students, I do think. First of all, you got to have adequate math aptitude and ability to learn this subject. There are some students that just can't learn it. They just don't have the ability. I don't think that'll apply to you. Most IU students have an adequate ability. Some more than others, obviously, but adequate ability if you're an IU student. But that's certainly a prerequisite. More importantly, you got to be willing to work an adequate amount to achieve this, whatever your goals are. Now, if you only want a C in the course, you won't have to work as hard because it's graded on a curve. You want a B, you're going to have to work harder because it's harder to get a B. And if you want an A, you're going to have to work a lot harder. Get an A for some students is a lot of work. Unless you're, I mean, it depends again on your ability, how hard you have to work. You need to state your goal right up front with the coach. What is it you're trying to achieve? What do you need to achieve? Like if you're trying to get into the Kelley School of Business, you get a certain grade, or informatics or something. You may need to get a B, or maybe in some cases a B plus or an A. And if that's true, you're going to have to work a lot harder. The coach is going to be able to help you achieve your objective in the most efficient way possible. But the coach is not a magician. No teacher is, no tutor is. You got to work. You got to do the work. And if you're not willing to do that, it ain't going to work. So why would you choose a $1,000 option? Well, what's your time worth? This could save you lots and lots and lots of time. And if you value your time highly, the $1,000 could be the greatest investment you'll ever make of $1,000. And even more importantly, what about the grade you're going to get? You say, well, I got so much time to put on this, but I got to get a good grade. Well, what's the grade worth? For some people, a high grade is worth a lot. For others, they just want to pass the course. That's up to you. It's all individual. This is not going to apply, we don't think, to very many people, but we'll find out. So if you think you're in this situation, you can call it. But the first thing you need to do, of course, is you need to go buy the mini course and go watch the videos and see if you can learn from them and see what you think of them. If you don't like the videos or you can't understand them or you just don't think they're any good for you, fine. You wasted the cost of a cup of coffee, $5, and you still got a lot out of it. Probably that $5 might be the best $5 you ever spend in terms of what you get out of it. But that's the whole idea. We want you to try it. We don't want you to spend $97 or $147 or $1,000 if you aren't going to get a lot of benefit out of it. In fact, we just absolutely want this to be worth many times what you pay for it. And I think for most IU students to do this, it will be worth many, many times what they pay for. So, this is Dr. Hain. This is what Finite Math is all about. This is what we've got to help you. Whether you try us or not, I wish you the best. And I will perhaps get to see you one of these days, at least on a video. And if not that. And by the way, we also have, if you buy the video set, there will be a forum you can go and ask questions to. I didn't mention that earlier. So there will be a forum, but that's not, the real thing is you're going to learn from the videos. So this is Dr. Dell, or they call my students, all call me Dr. Dell, Craig Hain, and I will hopefully see you sometime. My best wishes for your success at IU.